Do you want to speak English more like a native English speaker? If the answer is yes, then you are watching the right video. Sometimes your accent can make it really difficult for people to understand what you're trying to say. But not to worry, because in today's video, I'm going to show you 4 incredibly easy things that you can do every day to fix any problems you have with your accent. And best of all, these 4 exercises should not take you longer than 5 minutes per day. If you do these 4 exercises consistently every single day, then I guarantee you that you will be able to speak more clearly in English over time. The first exercise involves practicing what we call minimal pairs. These are words that look like they might be pronounced the same or in a similar way, but really they're pronounced entirely different. For example, this word is pronounced like ship, and this word is pronounced differently. Do you know the pronunciation? It is sheep. This word is pronounced bit, and this word is pronounced beat. So, as you can see, your pronunciation changes a little bit for words like these. And unfortunately, the English language is full of words like these. But the good part is that once you get the hang of it and once you see the patterns, it becomes a lot easier throughout the process of learning English. It's always good to practice these for a minute or two per day, and it's very easy to find them on Instagram Reels, such as the Reels from Arc English, among many other English platforms. The next exercise is the shadowing technique. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you should be very familiar with what the shadowing technique is. If you're new to this channel, the shadowing technique simply just involves repeating after what a native English speaker initially says. This is incredibly simple and very effective. Just find a short video anywhere on the internet. This video could be 30 seconds or less. Listen to the clip and then play it a second time and try to repeat after what the person is saying. Try your best to say it at the exact same speed as the native English speaker in the clip, and try to say it with the same rhythm and intonation. You can very easily do this in less than 5 minutes a day or more if you'd like to. The third exercise involves recording yourself, and this is quite important for giving yourself feedback. You can record a voice memo on your phone, or you can actually videotape yourself speaking and answering questions in the English language. For example, you can find an article somewhere on the internet and you can try to read it aloud. You can record yourself as you're actually reading the article aloud, and then afterwards you can play back the audio and see how articulate you are in the English language. Especially if you're around the B2 level of English, you should be at a high enough level where you can actually grade your own English level just by listening to yourself speak. If you don't feel comfortable grading yourself, then you can record it and you can get the feedback from a native English speaker. You can easily connect with a native English speaker on any of the free language exchange platforms out there, or you can even shoot me a message on Instagram at arc.english. As you play the recording back, listen for sounds that don't sound very clear. It should be pretty obvious for you to tell which words you're comfortable pronouncing and which words you're not comfortable pronouncing. Simply identify your mistakes, fix them, and then try again. Try reading the article again and doing it the proper way the next time through. The article doesn't need to be 100 pages long. It can honestly just be one paragraph or half a page long. But this is an easy exercise that you can definitely do in less than 5 minutes per day. And the last exercise is not very obvious and it's very intangible for a lot of people who don't have experience learning languages. And that is putting emphasis on certain words when you're communicating in English. Many words in sentences are meant to be stronger than others when you're trying to deliver a point in a certain way. This is very contextual and very intangible. For example, what is that? Because the word that is followed by a question mark, it has much more emphasis. This is a very easy example, but in different contexts, you'll notice that native English speakers put emphasis on different words. Now, this exercise may not necessarily be that difficult if your native language is kind of close to the English language. At least if the rhythm of your language is somewhat close to the English language, you should be able to understand this concept pretty well. If you speak a language with an entirely different alphabet or a language that is really tonal, like Mandarin Chinese or Vietnamese, this could be much more difficult to learn. No matter what your native language is, you should definitely pay attention to the words that native English speakers tend to emphasize as they speak in English. As you're listening to English and as you're using the shadowing technique, be sure to pay very close attention to the intonation and the rhythm with which English speakers speak with. Also, if you find any of the content on Arc English useful, be sure to like the video to let the YouTube algorithm know that this type of content is useful for English learners. So to recap, the 4 easy exercises are: number 1, working on minimal pairs, which are words that look like they could be pronounced in a similar way, but they're not. Implementing the shadowing technique, recording yourself and critiquing yourself and giving yourself feedback, or using a native English speaker to help give you feedback, and understanding how to emphasize certain words in the English figure of speech with the English style of speaking. But the most important thing above all is to be patient with yourself. Your accent is not going to change overnight, and you might not even be able to completely eliminate your accent at any point throughout your life. And honestly, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. An accent is just a part of who you are. And honestly, a lot of people will probably look at it as a good thing. They'll find it interesting or intriguing. It's not necessarily something to be ashamed of. The most important thing is that you know how to speak English clearly. There are different levels to fixing somebody's accent. And I would say your accent only needs to be fixed if people really, really struggle to understand what you're trying to say. But all of that to say, if you do these 4 exercises every day for honestly less than 5 minutes per day, you will eventually be able to speak much more clearly in the English language. Also, leave a comment down below telling me where you're from and what your native language is. I'm always very curious to know. And as mentioned, the shadowing technique is a simple technique in theory, but unfortunately, I still see a lot of you guys make the same common mistakes over and over again when it comes to using the shadowing technique. To make sure you avoid making those common mistakes, be sure to watch the next video on the screen.